guys, it's Rachel, and today I will be doing a pumpkin cinnamon roll taste test slash bake off. I will be using Trader Joe's pumpkin cinnamon rolls, baking those off, and then making my own homemade batch of pumpkin cinnamon rolls from scratch. And then we will put the two to the test to see which one is actually better. So first off, you can buy the Trader Joe's pumpkin cinnamon rolls in store, pre-made. The yeast is already prepared for you. All you have to do is go in and just pop it open and place it onto a baking sheet. They also include the icing for it as well. On the other hand, I will be following Sally's baking addiction to make these pumpkin cinnamon rolls. We'll start off the video by making Sally Baking Addiction's recipe for homemade pumpkin cinnamon rolls with cream cheese and maple syrup frosting. The thing that I really liked about this recipe was that it used fresh ground nutmeg, which was really awesome. I think that added a lot of flavor, and also it included pumpkin itself directly in the batter of the cinnamon rolls. When some people say pumpkin cinnamon rolls, I think the idea that comes across is a regular cinnamon roll but with pumpkin cream cheese frosting, but that is not the case here. We actually have pumpkin inside that dough. This recipe comes together pretty quickly using a stand mixer. All you need to do is combine your wet ingredients and then go ahead and add in your flour slowly, 1 cup at a time. And as you're doing that, it should come together into a nice kind of sticky dough. And once you've got that dough all mixed together in a nice sort of sticky, elasticy state, you can go ahead and cover it up, put it in a bowl and let it proof for about 2 hours or until doubled in size. Initially, I was a little worried because my dough was very tight and didn't seem fluffy at all, but after letting it rest for about 2 hours in a warm environment, it was good to go. Alright, so now the next step is to spread some softened butter all over your dough that's been rolled out into a rectangular shape, and then go ahead and top it generously with some cinnamon, sugar, ground nutmeg, and pumpkin pie spice. And roll that all up into a long log. The neat trick that I picked up here from Tasty is using unflavored or non-flavored floss in order to squeeze out your little cinnamon rolls and cut them into the appropriate shapes so that you can put them on your pie tin or tray tin or whatever you're going to use to bake them. What I really like about using the floss is that it doesn't squeeze or smush the cinnamon rolls down if you're using like a serrated knife or something like that. So the floss works really well in this case. Now you're going to let the cinnamon rolls proof for a second time until they rise a little bit more and are puffy, and then we'll bake them off for about 20 minutes. Once you've got these warm, kind of orange, yellowy, brown cinnamon rolls, you can go ahead and make the cream cheese and maple syrup frosting. This frosting recipe comes together really easily. All you need to do is combine some softened cream cheese with powdered sugar, a dust of cinnamon, some maple syrup, as well as milk. You'll mix those ingredients together until an icing sort of appears. It's not very thick. I find that it's pretty runny and loose, but I think it really works with these cinnamon rolls and allows the natural color of the cinnamon roll to really shine through. And once you've got the cinnamon rolls, that is it. You are all good to go for Sally's Baking Addiction's recipe on pumpkin cinnamon rolls. So now we are going to mix it up and switch over to the Trader Joe's pumpkin rolls that you can buy in store. It is a seasonal item that I believe they roll out with all their pumpkin products in October. So hopefully they still have it at your local store, but essentially all you gotta do is pop it open with the back of a spoon. I always struggle with this part. I don't know why. I've opened many Pillsbury cans of croissants and cinnamon rolls over the years, but this is always something that I struggle with personally. So you'll lay the cinnamon rolls out onto a baking sheet, bake them off, and it comes with icing that you can just pipe or glaze on to your cinnamon rolls. Super easy, very simple, and not too hard to do at all. I will say the one thing that I really noticed was how bright orange both the icing and the pumpkin cinnamon rolls were. And once the pumpkin cinnamon rolls have been glazed and cooled down, they are ready to go. Alright, so I have both of the pumpkin cinnamon rolls with me here. They smell so good. It smells like cinnamon pumpkin spice heaven over here. I wish you guys could smell this because it smells so great. So now I'm going to dig into the taste test to figure out which one is actually better, the pumpkin cinnamon rolls you can buy in the store at Trader Joe's or the homemade ones. Visually speaking, they are very different looking. The Trader Joe's version is really flat but super fluorescent orange with also orange icing, versus my homemade ones, which are a little bit more brown because of the cinnamon sugar in them and also more brown because of the maple icing. All right, let's get into it and dig in. First, I'm going to try the Trader Joe's pumpkin rolls right here. All right, here we go. Tasty, sweet, but I don't really taste any pumpkin. Honestly, this just tastes like a regular cinnamon roll to me. I can see the orange coloring, and that makes me think pumpkin, but I definitely do not taste pumpkin. I will also say that it's a little bit tough to chew, and that the flavor of this yeast or bread dough kind of just reminds me of every time I buy a Pillsbury package of cinnamon rolls or croissants. They all have this certain flavor and texture to them that reminds me of my childhood a lot, but isn't something I always crave. Let's move on to my own homemade cinnamon rolls from Sally's Baking Addiction. I'm really excited for this. They look really tender and soft and ooey gooey. Okay, let's dig in. This is so much better. The bread is tender, more soft, and it also has a really great flavoring profile with a ton of cinnamon inside of it, as well as a lovely glazed icing that has cream cheese and maple syrup in it. This is by far the winner for me. There's no question about it. It's so much softer. It tastes like it has way more flavor, and especially with that ground nutmeg that we added in fresh, this is simply divine. This is much better, and I would highly recommend this. So honestly, there's no question and no doubt about it, which is better between the Trader Joe's pumpkin rolls versus homemade. Definitely go with your homemade. If you have the time, if you want to put in the effort to make really good pumpkin cinnamon rolls, definitely do it, and I recommend this recipe that I'll have linked down below. I think the Trader Joe's pumpkin rolls they're good for what they are, but I wouldn't necessarily buy them if you want a homemade or really tasty pumpkin cinnamon roll. So with that, definitely make sure to make your own pumpkin cinnamon rolls. I think you'll be a lot more satisfied and a lot happier with the end product and results. Alright, well I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. And if you decide to make either of these pumpkin cinnamon rolls at home, definitely let me know. Leave a comment down below and I'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks so much guys. See you next time. Bye.